Hello and welcome to this Danishach English. I'm Ismail Jalilov in Washington, D.C. Tomorrow, on February 9, 2020, the people of Azerbaijan head to polls. They will be voting in a snap parliamentary election. The previous parliament was abruptly dismissed by President Ilham Aliyev, and he claimed that the parliament was not keeping up with the pace of the reforms he had introduced. Whether the new parliamentary election will be conducted in a free and fair manner, just like the government had promised, or whether we will hear mass allegations of fraud, just like we did recently in the municipal elections, we only have mere hours to find out. However, today, we're already receiving reports from the ground, from the civil society, from the independent and pro-opposition candidates, as well as the persons who had registered to observe the election, that something is afoot, something that would be consistent with the rigging of the elections on a mass scale. In the run-up to the parliamentary elections, we've conducted a few interviews, and today we present an interview with Stefan Schennach, who is an Austrian member of the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe, PACE, and he also serves as a Co-Rapporteur on the subcommittee of the PACE on conflicts between the Council of Europe member states. Mr. Schennach is no stranger to Azerbaijan. He had visited the country repeatedly, met with its leadership, with the government, and with the opposition members. We hope you do like the interview, and if you do, we hope you subscribe to our channel and show us your support. We also hope that you get to share and discuss this interview and it sparks a conversation, and frankly, the people of Azerbaijan currently could use the international attention. We thank you for your time. Well, Mr. Schennach, today's proceeding, what message did it send to the government of Azerbaijan, do you think?
We come to the topic of Azerbaijan, okay?
Right.
Because I had today a report about repatriating children from war zones. So now this report says now very clear we have political prisoners. When I was the chair of the monitoring committee, there was a report regarding Azerbaijan, and there was one amendment to put in political prisoners. And then I let them vote. And the voting was exactly 50-50. And in this case, the chairman has to decide, and the chairman was me. And then I was reading the amendment very slowly. And then I looked to all of them and I said, ladies and gentlemen, this will be the day where first time in a report is written there are political prisoners. Later, there was the big scandal in the plenary when the former rapporteur for Azerbaijan was in the plenary with his report, and Mr. Stresser from Germany was in the plenary with his report about political prisoners. And in the plenary, the rapporteur for Azerbaijan applied to the colleagues, vote down the report of political prisoners. And they did it. And now, meanwhile, I'm happy that a report regarding political prisoners got so a strong majority and also a two-thirds majority for the recommendation to the Council of Ministers.
What does it mean when the government of Azerbaijan sees the results of the vote today? What do you hope that they will understand from it?
I hope it makes my dogs in Baku easier when I will be there, because in October I present the report about Azerbaijan the last 2 years, and I'm waiting for new releases. I think this is necessary, and we have a lot of them. I can only speak Afgan Mukhtarli, for example. He was hijacked in another country. He's a journalist and he should come free immediately.
What about other former political prisoners who were not allowed to run in the election that you're going to observe in a few days in Azerbaijan? What do you think their fate should be? Should the government allow them, remove restrictions?
This has nothing to do with allow. This has to fulfill the obligation with the Human Rights Court. And some weeks ago, the rapporteurs for Azerbaijan, me and Mr. Gale, made a very clear press statement, and we asked immediately to fulfill the obligations from the Human Rights Court. It's a scandal that Mr. Ilgar Mammadov cannot run, and others.
But the government of Azerbaijan is not very eager to implement the binding decisions of ECHR. What does it mean? Does it mean the Council of Europe is not taken seriously? Does it mean the obligations are not taken seriously? What can the Council of Europe do next?
The next is will do the Council of Ministers. I am sure, because they follow very exactly this, and I think that the Council of Ministers will take action if Azerbaijan is not fulfilling the full obligation to the Human Rights Court.
You're going to observe the parliamentary elections in Azerbaijan in a few days' time. Do you have any expectations? Do you think the government will allow them to be conducted in an acceptable manner?
I can invite you to read our statement from the pre-electoral mission. It's only done for 1 week, and it's very high critical. So please read it, and then you see how deeply worried we are, and also regarding nominations of candidates, regarding freedom of assembly and freedom of press. And there's everything written in that. And so we have been there in the pre-electoral mission, and now comes the real mission, together IOM, International Observer Mission, together with OSCE and others.
When you go to Azerbaijan, I'm asking you because you've known our country for a while, you've visited it too, and you know our problems. Do you have a feeling you're in Europe? Do you have a feeling that the government shares your values?
This is a difficult question. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Sometimes they try that we leave immediately. Some has more understanding. Some has zero understanding. In the last months there was some changes, and we have to respect it and to observe.
Good changes or bad changes?
Wait. There is a new Prime Minister, younger. There is a new head of the presidential administration. This is the second power of political power, second place. So we have a little bit to wait and to observe. I'm not a person who say immediately nothing will be happen, but they have time, some months now. First the election, but the election has not to do with this new named person, but then they must show a little bit more than now.
In the last month or so, the president of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, spoke of European values, of Azerbaijan's orientation towards Europe. I'm sure you know the statement.
I know.
When you heard the statement, what did you hear? What did you think it meant? What does it mean?
Sometimes the president, sometimes the head of delegation are using words that they want to leave Council of Europe. Sometimes not. So I think for Azerbaijan it's very important to be member of the Council of Europe. And I think they had now the 20 years anniversary of membership last week. And it's a long, long way of understanding values of Council of Europe, that they understand how important is the independence of judiciary, how important, and what I wrote in one report, how important is that not the president or his administration can nominate prosecutors. Or you have now a big changing of judges that give those new judges the chance to be an independent judge. Then when you go now to Baku, you have not the feeling there is an election. I spoke with different people on the street or in a restaurant or in a bar, waiters, for example. Are there elections? What? So nobody realized that there are elections, because in a country, in a normal democratic country, government and opposition can show their program with postings or anything else. Yeah? This is not the case in Azerbaijan. You see only posters from Haydar Aliyev, from his father. This is maximum. So, and everything is going to the social media if they are not blocked. And rallies for the opposition. Normally, an opposition party in Vienna can go every day on the street or make events or rallies. The opposition has to go in a stadium. What is that? So that they are away from the people, for normal people who are walking on the street or driving with the car or what else. So this is not the level of free elections with the freedom of assembly and freedom of media, and that should change.
You say that in the 20 years of Council of Europe membership, the Azerbaijani government needs to understand the European values, but what if I say that a school student understands what independent judiciary is? Is it the matter of them trying to understand or not wanting to understand what European values are?
You must be a little bit gentle in this case. Yeah? Regarding judiciary, we have the same problems in all former Soviet countries. More or less. Yeah? More came much more into a democratic status, other needs longer. And for example, Azerbaijan need extremely long. Yeah? If you go to the neighbors, yeah? We had a revolution, a democratic revolution in Georgia with the Georgian Dream. Second, we had a democratic revolution in Armenia. But Azerbaijan stand on the same level, more or less, regarding democracy, regarding judiciary, as the country was founded and split it up from the Soviet time. And the prosecutor, they not changed, and the judges not changed, and how they feel and they work has not changed. And the big change must come.
Do you think that the fact that Article 46 was invoked, the fact that ECHR's binding decisions are seemingly disregarded by the government, do you think it undermines sooner or later the trust in European institutions on behalf of the average people? Are people in this building concerned with the fact that citizens sooner or later in Azerbaijan are going to say, well, Europe hasn't done anything. They couldn't. Azerbaijan is a small country in the Council of Europe. It's not a very...
It's not so small, but...
it's not Russia, it's not Turkey. Well, of course.
But we have smaller.
We have Luxembourg.
But we should not forget the place of Azerbaijan geopolitics between the two big cultures. On the other side, the Iranian and Islamic State, on the other hand Russian, and Azerbaijan is a kind of a bridge. Yeah? He's a laicist state, congratulate for that, but it means not that all who are asking for human rights are religion terrorists, because this seems to be very modern to say those we have in prison are only radicalism, and because we are Shia, but we don't want not such believers like in Iran. In that way, the so-called Nardaran case is very sensible topic, because more or less they have not been terrorists.
You mean sensitive topic?
Very sensitive. Ganja case, very sensitive. And I'm happy that in the Nardaran case, meanwhile more than 80% of the prisoners are released now, because mass imprisonment is never correct.
But the same thing was said today by Samad Said, of the chair of the Azerbaijani delegation here in Strasbourg. He basically said, him and those who followed him from Azerbaijan, they said that Europe doesn't understand. We are not persecuting political dissidents. We are trying to protect ourselves from religious fanatics.
Okay, do you know what the prosecutors are using for matters? One time I spoke with President Aliyev and I said, Mr. President, you are not the country of drug dealers. Why are so many people with drugs in prison? You are not the country where everybody try to take away the tax. And if somebody is not taxpayer, why he is in prison? Yeah. And the third thing is religion terrorists. So
you don't believe that is true?
No, this is, you see, the intelligence of the prosecutors is very limited. And this, because, and I asked the president, and he did it with his act of humanization. We should not forget this. He decriminalized some offenses. It was not the most important, but it was a first step. And I asked him not to have black and white, in prison or out prison. The world of justice has different possibilities, and especially if you implement juvenile justice, then sometimes it's better to bring a young blogger, not in prison, like this. But so many cases are ending with drugs.
Journalists always carry drugs, it seems, in their pockets. And
the funny thing is the former Minister for Health was 10 years in prison, and when he should be released, they opened a new case against him that he's a drug dealer. And I told the Minister for Justice, if I heard that somebody in prison is a drug dealer, then you have a problem with your guards and your servants, and not with a prisoner.
Do you think they heard what you said? Do you think they understood your message?
Sometimes they are smiling.
So they're smiling. Do you smile back when they smile?
Meanwhile, those former minister is out of prison.
He is.
I met him 1 week ago in Baku.
Was it surprising that a rapporteur for Azerbaijan, Ms. Ayvarsdottir, was accused of interfering in the political process in Azerbaijan?
No, that is stupid, and forget it. We can ask why the Azeri make this early election, because it's, in fact, it's not necessary. But nobody can explain me till today. Not one official can tell me why. They have always to tell me that there are now younger and other people, and I said, yeah, and the policy maker is the president, and he is not changed. So, and he can work with the parliament as it is. And no, the most problem now, what I see is the withdrawing of hundreds of candidates which was nominated and registered, they withdraw. This is always the same game. And meanwhile more than 400. And last week when I was to 97. So how we can speak about new opening? This withdrawing is
it doesn't make sense to you.
It makes zero sense. Yeah.
Okay.
Only if they have for register to pay, and then they have stranded investment. But investment in what?
Ms. Aivarsdottir was criticized for the use of the word regime.
I would not use this word.
You would not? You don't think Azerbaijan is a regime?
No, this word is not. Azerbaijan is a kind of authoritarian democracy because it moves from father to the son and maybe next to the next son. And the question that the wife is, that the couple is president and vice president, this shows it has an authoritarian character, but regime is something. We had regimes in Latin America. I have the connection with regime, with the power of soldiers, with power of military. This is not the case in Azerbaijan. We should not speak in a way about Azerbaijan. We should not. No, this is. I never would use this word. It's an authoritarian situation. It's not a democracy as we know from other countries. The figure of a democracy are two. First, the changing of the power, of the government power, from one to the next, like in Georgia or in Armenia. Yes, in Austria, my party was in power, now it's another party group in power. This is democracy, but the most important is the separation of power. So the separation is, the judiciary is independent. The parliament, the Milli Maiz, is independent and show what, but not fulfill what they get. Yeah? And the executive can be controlled by the parliament, can be controlled also by the judiciary. But this is, everything is mixed. Yeah? So it's, that is a figure of a more or less authoritarian kind of democracy or government, and but it's not a regime.
You will be in Baku very soon, I believe, in a few days,
Yes.
right? What do you want the people to know? What message would you like them to receive? Why are you coming? What are you there to do?
Yeah,
I understand you're to observe.
I'm coming that we can control that what is possible on freedom of election will guaranteed, and to remember the country. Election is something different, and I think. I don't know if they wanted them so many times in the country that they rise up so many questions, put my finger of bloody points, and I don't know. But on the other hand, they respect me, yeah? And this is, I respect them, and they respect me, and a person who is speaking open, and I expect open answers, yeah? And. I think in the last years, when I was rapporteur, there could be really a big couple of people released. Ilken Rumashad, Mehmen Husseinov, Ilga Mamadov, Khadija Ismailova, the couple Yunus, and. So Mr. Karamanli and others. Yeah? So, and in some aspects, they are thinking what they are doing wrong. that, yeah, I hope so. I'm a positive person, and I hope that also in the next times, and till we have the report finished, we will be after the election, twice in Baku, with the whole everything. That means with parliamentarians outside and inside, with the government, with the different stakeholders in the society, with the medias, NGOs, human rights defenders, and. But also, I will continue the talk with political prisoners in prison. And I'm not resting till Gobustan will be closed.
I wish you good luck in that, and I appreciate your time, Mr. Schennach, and good luck. Have a safe trip.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.